Hello everyone, this is Debbie Dowesi Ajum, your favorite storyteller and podcaster. Welcome to another episode of Life Law Podcast. If you are just joining us, we finished a short story collection titled Campus Life Chaos 2 weeks ago with the story C's or C's, which was episode 10. So kindly go back and listen to all those stories because you are going to love it. On today's episode, I am going to tell you about my podcast journey, how this came about, how I got to write Campus Life Chaos, the inspiration, the ups and downs, just everything in between. And I hope you love it because this is another story on its own. So today's episode is titled Writer's Exorcism. I had a fun and difficult time writing Campus Life Chaos. First of all, the title came to me in a jovial voice. I had just come home from my friend's birthday party that was interrupted halfway by her landlord, and I was narrating the story to my man, and after laughing so hard, he said, and I quote, "File the experience amongst your campus life chaos. I love it." And so I did. I'm sure you've put two and two together and you're now guessing that the story Party Scatter must have been my experience at my friend's birthday party. Nope, you're not entirely wrong. Almost all the stories in the collection are born out of real-life experiences, some personal, some impersonal. However, every story has a unique sprinkle or dash of fiction. The inspiration to start this collection was impregnated in my mind in October 2023. I can't recall having an active writing life before then. I think I was writing bits and bits of my emotions, and then few class prompts and unique moments, but the idea was top notch, and I already had so many chaotic moments on campus that were itching to get on paper. So as soon as the semester was over, I got to work. I wrote 6 stories consecutively in the last few months of 2023 and 2 more in the new year. I used my phone to do that. I started off at a good pace because I was doing a lot of reading. Reading is like the gateway into writing. If you're a writer listening, I'm sure you're smiling or chuckling because you know this is true. The first stories came easily to me. Sister, You're Mad, Unfavorable, Suleiman Girls, Party Scatter, Light Palaver, and God Forbid. When I'm in the mood to write and actually sit down and start writing, depending on what I'm writing, I'm usually done in a few hours. Then I edit and proofread and move on to something else. Sometimes I even wrote twice in a day. This time, I wasn't writing and dumping the stories. I was sharing my work with my man. Life took its course and we got separated from each other for a while, so the sharing was done over the phone. He led a busy life, but always made time for us to talk, so since he couldn't read my stories, I read them out to him over the phone during our conversations. That was a life-changing move, I won't even lie. Because one day, after reading to him, he said, you have a really beautiful voice and I love how you read. Your stories are very creative and well curated. You should start a podcast. It would be great. You read out your stories to your listeners. The way it came out was way too casual for me to think he had given it a serious thought, and maybe it was just a spur of the moment. But before I knew it, he was naming the podcast he listens to and how I could go about my research into the world of podcasts. I knew what podcasts were, but I wasn't really interested enough to listen to any. But I had every reason to now. So the zeal to write died momentarily, and up arose the zeal to research. I listened to lots of podcasts, tried to see if mine would fit in or stand out, the best platform to host my podcast, how often I'd be uploading episodes, and what to name it. So the name Life Law came to me in December of 2023, but I was skeptical about it. Somehow I felt like it wasn't catchy enough, although I was looking for a name that would encompass all kinds of prose fiction, since my podcast was going to focus on storytelling of all sorts. The dictionary meaning of life law is the knowledge of life or life experiences, wisdom. Then law means a body of traditions and knowledge on a subject often passed down by word of mouth. So in this context, the word means a body of knowledge about life experiences passed down through word of mouth. I knew CLC was just one of the many facets of life that I was writing about, and I would move to something else in the future. So I didn't need a name that would confine me into a particular subject for as long as my podcast thrived. Do you get? Like, why write only about campus life when there's so much more to life? So once again, my man came to the rescue. He said the name was Grace, and he didn't see why I was being skeptical about it. So I told him the truth, and now I'm going to tell you guys too. I feared that I would fumble in the pronunciation of the word in a really embarrassing way and get laughed at. No jokes. I'm not sure you get where I'm going to, so just so you know, I'm Steve. And although I look nothing like it or even have the accent, sometimes it comes upon me involuntarily. Just now, it just did. I don't know if you noticed it, but it just did. So I was scared my mother tongue would interfere with my tongue, and I'd pronounce life law as rifle. So far, this is the first time it has happened. Should I say second time? Because it just happened twice now in a short space. But I went to the name, and in the months to come, I shared the idea with some of my friends and even got a friend to design the cover photo for Life Love Podcast. I got a tiny mic. I hope to get the job done because I didn't have money to go extravaganza. And for my first episode, I paid for a hotel room, took my cat along with me, recorded right there while Derek and the entire world slept. You're free to laugh. If you listened to my first episode, you'd agree with me that it was kind of shitty even after I had it edited by a professional, but it's the episode that has the highest amount of listeners. What an irony. Subsequently, I started going to the studio. You can attest to that if you've listened to the next episodes. I used to leave my comfort zone in Zango all the way to Graceland. The studio is also home to a friend, so luckily for me, I didn't have to put up with the mixer and producer. In case you didn't know, I'm very shy. Later on, I warmed up to the owner of the studio because my friend wasn't always around to record me. At first, the studio fee that I was paying was quite paltry. The mic I'd got was no good for recording podcast, and I believe this was a little sacrifice I had to pay to get my podcast alive and thriving. And I was consistent for some episodes till poverty sat me down and said, I will kill you. Things been just tight for me, I no go lie. And I was already counting down to the days to releasing a new episode. I had to act fast too. So my friend, who was a theatre and performing arts major, told me about a recording app his group used for their class project, and had his friend, who was the group leader, put me through the recording app. So once again, I sat down in my room and recorded while Derek and the world snored. But it wasn't as shitty as my first episode. Right? I think you guys should be the judge of that. I was just relieved that I didn't disappoint you, my listeners. I really needed to stay consistent, still do, because it was too early a journey for me to give a silly excuse to rest. So I did the same thing in the next episode till few people started pointing out how much my sound quality had depleted. I needed to act fast again, but I couldn't go back to the studio. I didn't want to start what I couldn't finish again. I don't know if you understand. So I shared my fears with 3 of my friends, and so far I've used only an advice of one. He's also a podcaster who believes I need to start small and then expand. So he told me I'd get a better sound by recording in a car with worn-up glasses than sitting in the middle of my room, even with short louvers. As some of you know, I don't have a car yet. So I talked to another friend, and she spoke to her mom on my behalf. And now all I do is find my way to Emanto on weekends when her mom doesn't have work to go to and record. I'm in the car right now. I know the sound isn't perfect, but it's not bad either. And it's going to get better with time. Trust the process. Yeah. The stories, Ashao, Violence Pro Max, Useless Lecturer, and C's or C's were the most difficult to write. By now, I had already started my podcast, and I know I said I stopped going to the studio because of Sapa, but it was more than that. I was depressed. I don't know if depression tags alongside Sapa, but I was just going through a lot mentally and emotionally. First semester was over and I was only reading as an escape from reality, so getting to write afterwards became a Herculean task for me. I was running away from anything that would require me to think. Yeah. I only stepped out of my apartment when necessary, like getting Derek fresh sand or going to the market to buy fish for him. At one point, I started having suicidal thoughts, but I couldn't afford to leave Derek alone in my room till my body was found by my friends or nosy neighbors. I thought about leaving him with enough food, milk, and water, but a lifeless me would traumatize Derek, so I thought I'd just kill us both. But I could never look at his cute face and hurt him intentionally. I wasn't going through a breakup. My grades weren't a mess. My family was doing just fine. I was broke, but I could feed myself and Derek conveniently. And my friends were as loving as ever, but somehow my head was in a turmoil. I don't know. I guess at some point, one just grows scared of what the future holds without acknowledging the present. So, I sucked it all up and opened up to my man and few trusted friends. And after speaking with them, I didn't think I needed to go to a therapist anymore. Still, it was hard to get back into my writing groove. Sometimes I would start writing a night before the day of recording and finish up before going to my friend's house to record in her mom's car. I'm recovering slowly, yeah, and I know it'll all get better in time. It'll all get better in time. Even though I really love you, I'm gonna smile 'cause I deserve to. I don't know if you guys know that song, but I think it's Luna Lewis. Yeah, better in time. The older guys would know the song, not this Gen Z. You guys don't know shit about old music. Anyway, so this has been an amazing journey so far. I'm thrilled when after introducing myself to random people, they go, "Oh, you're Debbie, the one with a podcast. Wait, you have a podcast, right? You write stories, don't you?" It fills me with joy to know that I'm actually out there on my craft even more than I think I am. People are hearing about me on my podcast, and that's all thanks to you, my listeners and supporters. All those who repost my podcast posts, links, and discuss my podcast with others, I appreciate you all. I am most grateful to my family, my parents in particular, for always encouraging me to keep doing what I love, listening to every single episode, and sometimes even be my first listeners. Yeah, sometimes my parents are the first to listen to any episode I drop, leaving heartwarming comments and discussing my podcast with almost everyone they meet. Especially my dad. My dad, the moment he meets you, he's telling you about his daughter who's in ABU Zaria studying English language, an author of 4 books. She has a podcast. Oh, are you on Spotify? Okay, just check your phone, put on your data, go to Spotify. The name of the podcast is Life Law, and my dad is like my major marketer. I love you, Dad. I love you, Mom. Thank you so much for everything you do for me. And to my friends, yes, sometimes I have to force you, plead with you, and even threaten you to listen to new episodes of Life Law and leave reviews. But I still adore you all. I still do. I wouldn't be here without your love and crazy, nonsense, stupid, idiot, bastard weary behaviors. But hey, we're in this together, and I thank you guys so much. To all the devoted listeners whom I know and don't know in person, I love you all and thank you for supporting Life Law Podcast. I am most grateful for love and my cat, Derek. I love you beyond measure. Please tune in 2 weeks' time to listen to the first episode of another short story collection, which I'm sure is going to blow your minds. I love you all. Take good care of yourselves. Bye for now. Mwah. Baby sweet, baby feel low. Too soft like pillow.